Good morning, everyone. Hope you're still safe and healthy. Today, I will going to discuss selected response assessment. So, without further ado, let's proceed to my presentation. Defining selected response items as stated by Macmillan and Susky, it is one of the classification in assessment methods which items directs students to pick the best or correct answer from the two or more possible answers. It includes multiple choice items, binary choice items, matching items, and interpretive exercises. First on the selected response assessment is the multiple choice items. As stated by Anderson and Macmillan, this type of items are used to assess a wide range of learning outcomes or targets in all cognitive levels, adaptable to all subjects, can provide indirect assessment, and can be practiced for standardized tests. Multiple choice items consist of STEM, which are the questions or incomplete statements, and the alternatives, which consist of one correct answer and destructors. Now let's proceed to the advantages and disadvantages of multiple choice items. Advantages can assess a variety of learning targets, efficient and easy to score and grade, scoring is objective, etc. Disadvantages: time consuming to write, difficult to write, good items, provide limited feedbacks to students, etc. Here are the checklist and suggestions for writing multiple choice items. STEM should be stated clearly, precisely, directly, and simply as possible. STEM should be meaningful by itself. Avoid using negatives like not and except. Should have only one correct answer. Alternatives should be parallel with length, grammatical structure, and complexity because it can lead to giving irrelevant clues which should be avoided. Avoid using all of the above, none of the above, and the likes. And alternatives should be plausible. Here are the targets of multiple choice items. First, assessing knowledge and comprehension. Declarative knowledge of terminology and facts are effectively assessed in these items. This usually seek for definition as you can see in the example. In facts, it uses four W's: what, where, when, and who in writing the STEM, as you can see in the example. Multiple choice items are useful in measuring knowledge principles. As you can see in the example, we are looking at the description of the principle of supply and the demand. In assessing comprehension, if the student correctly identify explanation and examples, can interpret and predict, and convert and translate. Next is assessing application. This is where understanding is demonstrated and the knowledge is applied. It presents situation and oftenly applied or oftenly used fictional problems. Lastly, assessing reasoning and deep understanding. There are two ways in assessing reasoning. First, focus on particular skills to be able to recognize and use the skills. Second is looking at the extent on how to use knowledge and skills to solve problems, make decisions, and reasoning tasks. Here are the examples. Next is binary choice items. Binary choice items are items where students select answer from the two response categories. It is also called alternative response. It consists of propositional statements and responses. Here are the checklists for writing a binary choice items. First, should include two or more facts and ideas in a single statement. Avoid long sentence, avoid negatives, avoid clues, and avoid showing patterns. The targets of binary choice items are in knowledge and comprehension, starts with proposition about major knowledge. Keep items short and simple, direct, and easy to understand. In assessing application, student answer questions in a novel situations. In reasoning and deep understanding, it can be assessed through facts and opinions. As we can see in the example, it was changed to a more precise and clearly stated propositions. In application, it is a novel situation, and in reasoning and deep understanding, it was a fact and opinion response categories. Third in the selected response items is the matching items. These items assess students if they know the related facts, associations, and relationships. As you can see, the items on the left are called the premises, and the items on the right are called the responses. Here are the advantages and characteristics of poor matching items. Advantages: efficiently obtain good sampling of a large amount of knowledge because we are using more than 4 matching items. Easily and objectively scored, not difficult to construct. The characteristic of poor matching items: insufficient material included, and if there is irrelevant information added. Here are the checklists for writing matching items. First, direction should be clear. Avoid including irrelevant information. Use more responses. You should use 4 to 8 premises. Premises and respondents must be on the same page. This is an example of matching item. Lastly, we have interpretive items or exercises. Interpretive exercises consist of information data such as maps, paragraphs, etc., followed by a selected response type of question. As you can see on your right, this is an example of selected response type of questions. Another, it assesses interpretation, analysis, application, critical thinking, and other reasoning skills, as well as comprehension. Here are the advantages and limitations of interpretive exercises. Possible to measure more reasoning skills, possible to separate reasoning skills from content knowledge of the subject. It is relatively encountered in everyday living, and results are more reliable. And the limitations are time-consuming and difficult to write, unable to assess the process of the students of organizing thoughts and ideas, and rely heavily on reading comprehension. Here are the checklists in making interpretive exercises. First, the reasoning targets should be clearly defined and sequencing is really important. The introductory material should be briefed. Just enough materials are needed. You should select similar but new introductory material. The goal here is to develop examples that are similar from what they studied, but the content somehow is new. Construct several items for each exercise and construct items to require understanding and reasoning. These are the only targets of interpretive exercises. Comprehension. A reading passage is presented followed by several questions about the passage. Second, reading and deep understanding. This is where interpretive exercise good at in assessing reasoning and deep understanding of the students. In the 21st century, selected response assessment are now integrated in technology. We can see selected response items presented and answered digitally. It was interesting to create selected response items or assessment digitally, but designing them and digitally provide scores is difficult. And that ends my presentation for today. Thank you for listening, and these are my references for my presentation. Thank you.